more than 5 million face masks, over 1 million test kits, along with protective clothing and face shields. The first portion of the promised aid arrived at the Bole International Airport in Addis Ababa on Sunday morning from China. The packages were labeled with a quote from Nelson Mandela: "When people are determined, they can overcome anything." This shipment from the Jack Ma Foundation is for all the 54 African member states. From here in Addis Ababa, the World Food Programme, which is experienced in logistics, will assist in sharing it equally amongst the member states and shipping it out as soon as possible. The Ethiopian government has offered to transport the supplies to other African states via its national airline, Ethiopian Airlines.
Because we distribute millions of tons of food around the world, we have an apparatus to do that. Significant capacity and knowledge of logistics and supply chain management. In the past, we have brought this kind of capacity to other disease control efforts, in particular the Ebola crisis in West Africa a few years ago. And so building on that experience, we offered our expertise to this, and we are really happy and honored to serve in this way.
The remaining shipment of medical supplies are expected to reach Addis Ababa and be distributed to more African nations over the next few weeks. South Africa, like other countries in Africa, will receive a total of 20,000 test kits, 100,000 medical masks, and 1,000 protective suits and face shields.
This contribution by Jack Ma is very important for the entire continent, and it's a great solidarity shown by a human being, and we are very proud of his contribution. Secondly, we also want to thank the government of Ethiopia, the Prime Minister in particular, for facilitating this contribution to the continent. Lastly, we are appealing to Africa CDC to ensure that this consignment is distributed to all the countries on the continent with incredible speed.
The Africa Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says this donation will greatly bridge the shortage of medical supplies the continent is suffering from as it strives to combat COVID-19.
This is huge. You know, one of the greatest challenges the whole world, not just Africa, is facing is lack of material. The second challenge the world is facing, and Africa, is the ability to scale up diagnostics. And here we are, this partnership, the Prime Minister's initiative and Jack Ma's initiative, is going to distribute more than 1 million tests, with Africa CDC supporting. I mean, as you know, we have been discussing this. Africa CDC has scaled up to about 75,000 tests to nearly all countries in Africa. But there is no way near to what we require. So this initiative is going to really be a shot on the arm to increase and boost our ability to test people, isolate them, and try to contain this virus.
This donation is part of global efforts that the Jack Ma and Alibaba foundations have promoted to support the areas affected by COVID-19 globally. Coletta, wanjohi, SABC News, Addis Ababa, Ethiopia.
Rwanda has become the first nation in Africa to go on lockdown for at least 14 days in an effort to fight the coronavirus outbreak. The country has confirmed 17 COVID-19 infections. Unnecessary movement and visits outside the home by the country's 12 million citizens were not permitted except for essential services such as healthcare, food shopping or even banking. Rwanda's borders have been closed except for returning citizens who will be placed under a mandatory 2-week quarantine period. All citizens have been ordered to work from home. Schools and places of worship will also remain closed.